What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator 2021 with me, the Virtual Mechanic. This is today's project, but before we jump into that, what did you think of Car Dealer Simulator on our last video? I really enjoyed it. I hope you guys did enjoy it too. By the guys over at Garage Monkeys, I think it was quite a cool little game. I'm looking forward to playing it more. Do you want to see some more videos of it? Do let me know in the comments below. But back to this. This is the Dodge Charger concept added to the Steam Workshop by Tim C2K, and I think it's going to be pretty cool. I am looking forward to it. We got our work cut out with this little beast today. It is covered in dust, so we're going to start it off by getting this beautiful little beast cleaned up. Then we're going to tune up that beautiful engine, make it as powerful as we possibly can, and then we're going to sort out all of this bodywork. Hopefully some nice paint shop stuff. I don't know if there's any liveries. We will check that one out a bit later on, and then it'll be on to the drag strip with this beautiful Dodge Charger concept. Hopefully we'll be able to take home all of the winnings today and win a tournament. We shall find out by the end of today's episode. And will it make it on to our top 10 speederboard? We haven't had many new things on there in a little while, so I'm hoping we will see some new stuff in this top 10. Can it be today with our beautiful Dodge Charger concept? Well, the engine is quite a big part of that, and this has got in it the V8 6.2 litre Hemi Hellcat engine, pumping out 606 factory horsepower. As you can see, we've done absolutely nothing to the tuning of it so far, obviously. So today we're going to be tuning this beautiful beast up as much as we possibly can, giving it all of the horsepowers before taking it onto the drag strip to hopefully own a drag tournament, taking the top spot and all of that prize money to increase our profit from this beautiful Dodge Charger concept. From 1999, there are two configs. I can't remember what the other one is. I think I have seen a police car variant, so it might be a police cruiser. This is 154,500 kilometers, and we got it from the auction house. It's available in all of the places, but we got ours from the auction house. It's in quite sorry for itself condition, but we've definitely seen a lot worse over the years. Did we get a good deal? Absolutely not. 28,748 is what I paid, and I could currently sell it for 22,223. All of the twos there, losing out on 6,525. That's quite a big loss before we've even started on this one. But I am looking forward to it. It should be a lot of fun, and it does look pretty cool, even if it's looking a bit sorry for itself at the minute. And definitely not like what we'd see from a Dodge Charger. I suppose the back a little bit of Dodge Charger, but not too much. The front is more, I no idea, maybe closer to a Corvette. That seems such an insult to the Dodge brand to say that, but it's a bit more pointy at the front, a bit more of a wedge shape, so definitely not something I'm used to seeing from a Dodge Charger. Where is this from? Does anybody know? I've never actually seen this before in my life, so I'd be interested to find out. I probably should do research before these videos, but I like to just build the cars. I'm not a big fan of research. But on the topic of research, they have changed the DLC for the taxis, and I am bitterly disappointed. Look at that ugly ass front end with those lights changed. They look absolutely awful, but this isn't the worst change of the DLC. I mean, it still looks Mercedes-esque, I say, but it looks absolutely terrible. I'm very disappointed in that. Even more disappointing for me is this. This is the most god-awful, ugly thing I have ever seen in my whole entire life. The rounded headlights just look so much better. This is absolutely atrocious. I think it looks so awful. I'm glad we are done officially with the taxi DLC, and these will not be here by the time we come back later. I'll be selling them all off. Don't you worry. It is awful. Yeah, I can't get over that. Anyway, we've got the Security-R. They haven't changed that one as far as I'm aware. The Bolt Escapade not changed. The Le Croix Marseille has changed. We now longer have two hood scoops either side. We have one oblong hood scoop in the middle, and someone skylined the lights. Those tail lights look atrocious on that build. I'm not gonna lie. They've ruined. I mean, this isn't ruined. I'm not going to say the Le Croix Marseille is ruined. The front still looks awesome. The hood scoop still plays not as cool as the old school ones that we had, the dual ones we had. Them taillights just let it down a little bit for me. The London cab, the black cab, that is ugly as anything. And the Olsen Premi Club is just... Yeah, the front of these two vehicles is absolutely ruined by the latest update. I don't know what caused it. I'm assuming this was probably what was causing the delay to get the taxi DLC onto the consoles. I don't know, maybe someone at Mercedes or whoever makes black cabs decided it looked too real and maybe worked for PlayStation or Microsoft. Who knows? But yeah, disappointed in them. They look totally different. I'm a bit upset by that. But anyway, back to today's build. Let's get back into the garage. We need to go and get this beautiful, beautiful Dodge Charger concept into the car wash, all cleaned up and ready to go. She's all clean and back in the shop. And now we need to check out this V8 Hemi engine. There she is. Oh, and it's relatively complete. In fact, is everything complete? Let's jump in and take a proper look. Are we... I don't actually think we are missing anything on this build, which is always fantastic for a teardown because you could do a like-for-like straight-up replacement for everything in your inventory, which is a simple way of doing it if you want to do it like that. It's normally the way I do it, piece by piece. I normally do all of the suspension and engine bay as one and then come back and do the engine separate, or sometimes not in that order. Sometimes I do the engine first and then come back and do the suspension and engine bay. But this car looks all complete, which means we don't have to worry too much about it. We've got drive shaft. We are in assembly mode, aren't we? Yeah. And there is nothing at all showing up. Absolutely love to see it. That is something you don't see very often. Not a single piece missing off this entire build. That is fantastic. So let's get it up in the air and start by draining the oil from that engine. Hopefully enough of it in there, well looked after. Give it a moment. There we go. Wait for the car to get in the air. So get you drained out then. Absolutely filthy and not too much, but, you know, it is what it is. So let's jump in and start tearing some bits out. Obviously, we're going to get started with the cheeky little starter, which is just down here. There we go. Let's get you out. No rusty bolts. Excellent start. Drive shaft, I can already see a rusty bolt. So we know we've got one on there. So out you come with the rest of you and another one on the other end. Not too bad. We can live with that. Out you go there and then off with the gearbox and we're... Some more rusty bolts that I missed. Lovely little ticking sound. I do quite enjoy that sound of the bolts when they don't move. I think it's quite therapeutic sound. But anyway, let's get off this front exhaust section as well for the Hellcat. And we should be able to just lift this block straight out of here. Get ready to strip it down. So let's go and grab our engine crane. Get it over to our Charger concept. And get this engine ripped out of here. Out you come. Nice and simple. That is what we like. Let's go see how bad it is by throwing it on to the engine stand very quickly. On you go there. And, I mean, the fact that it's complete is always a good sign. Obviously, a lot of this stuff we will replace anyway, you know. Power steering pump, alternator is definitely going to be replaced. The throttle's going to be replaced. The supercharger's going to be replaced. The heads are going to be replaced. Covers probably not so much. These coils will be replaced. The exhaust manifolds will be replaced. Yeah, so there's a lot that's definitely going to be replaced on it anyway. But I find it much easier when you do have a full, complete engine and suspension. There's nothing worse than getting right to the end of a build and realising you are missing 2 ignition coils from the start. All right, that's something obvious, but you know what I mean. 2 little bits that you didn't pay attention to too well at the beginning, so you didn't necessarily know they were missing. But there we go. It is fully complete, and I absolutely love to see it. Now, obviously, the engine showing up because we didn't have it. We don't see it very often. The full complete build. So now we're going to start draining some liquids. I can see 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we know we've got our drainage tool. So we're going to right click at We are going to right click and then we're going to click on additional tools and then click on drain tool. I don't know what's going on. My brain can't seem to catch up with what I'm trying to say at the moment. No idea. But we get all of these liquids drained out and then we can crack on, get the rest of this car all stripped down. By the time we come back, this should all be repaired, replaced and upgraded. And we should be working on the bodywork. So there we go. I'm going to crack on with the rest of this. I will see you in a minute and we'll sort out this Charger concept and see what body panels come with this one. That's everything for the engine, the suspension, and the engine bay. All sorted, repaired, replaced, or upgraded, depending on what we needed. Obviously, nothing in there. I do like this little feature, though. The battery wires built into the bodywork, showing where the battery goes. Absolutely fantastic. But anyway, let's crack on and strip this body. Starting with that front bumper. We've got the hood there. The fenders are part of the body and not a part, so we don't have them to worry about. But we do have headlights. Out you come there. Windshield off you come. No door on this side. Doesn't look like it's got side skirts, but we do have the back door on there along with the window. Any of this trimmer piece? Doesn't look like it. Rear arches, no. Oh, tail lights hidden in there. I thought that was actually missing. Then we've got the trunk piece on the top. Rear window, out you come. No rear bumper. That is part of the bodywork. Looking pretty cool, though. Round we go. Rear door, front door, mirror, and window just there. And I think... he says, I think that's everything from the bodywork. Lovely red interior on this. That's looking pretty cool. I'm not sure about the dash in its... I'm going to say salmon. I'm not 100% sure what colour that is, but we'll crack on, get this interior out. The SRT8 seats are from the 300C and bench from the 300C as well. And while we're here, we'll just check. I'm assuming it's the... Oh, so we've gone for the Hellcat steering wheel, but the 300C seats and things like that. Although they definitely said SRT8 on them, didn't they? Let's just go into here, and if I type in 300, that should bring them up. It is... the right seats. Okay, so that is the seat for it. Okay, just double checking as we were there. So that should be everything off. 1% on there, and we can swap the frame if we want to. That is what we like to see. Just double checking here, sorry, make sure there is nothing else on there. Definitely not. That's what we came for. So let's have a look. Frames at 27%, and I bought the car for a little under 30,000. What do we reckon for this beautiful concept car? Should be quite a lot because nobody will know much about it. I'm going to say 2,000. 1,250. I still can't get these right, even when I put proper thought into them. But anyway, let's jump in to the body shop and see what we got going on. Fresh import goods because it is a mod, and there is the Dodge Charger concept. So that's it. It's one simple page: windshield, trunk, tail lights, headlight, mirror, doors, hood, front bumper, and some windows. Nice and simple for this one. So there we go. Not too bad at all. I'm going to crack on now, and I'm going to go and get all of these body panels repaired that I can repair, buy what we have to buy, and then we'll sort out some interior, get this beast back together, and then get it into the paint shop ready to check out if there are any liveries and see what awesome colours, although red is definitely going to play a part in this build somewhere. That interior does look fantastic. And now that we've welded it, all that salmon stuff, the red's come out of it and it's now gone silver. I have no idea about that. Apparently rust can turn plastic chrome pieces on the inside, I'd say potentially, I have no idea about this car, plastic chrome trim pieces on the inside to a lovely salmon colour with a bit of rust on there. It is what it is. So yeah, I'm going to crack on, get everything repaired. We'll be back in a moment. Let's get this beautiful little concept car all back together then, ready to go into the paint shop for a beautiful coat of paint. So let's get started with that massive long hood on there, and obviously our windshield with our window wipers. Lovely headlights, on you go, and then our Corvette style front end with that beautiful Ram Dodge badge on the front there, looking very, very nice. Round we go, front doors with the beautiful Dodge style cutouts. I think that's the concept, that's the Charger concept right there, with the what do you call them? The indents in the door? Not so much the same in the rear door, but it does obviously carry on with that feature line going all the way down to the back there. Not carried on from the front, it just sort of blends in to the rear door. But that's a design choice by whoever created this concept car. Round we go. Let's get the rest of it in. Rear window. This trunk piece I do quite like. I do think it looks quite smart. And also these tail lights. They fit in it very well. Again, I have no idea about this car, so someone might be able to tell me. And I do think this should have been the cutout for the exhaust, but we are using a twin exit exhaust. Not that we can... Oh, there we go. Just about see it from there. A twin exit exhaust rather than a central exhaust. So maybe a custom config of this one in the future. Hopefully looking pretty cool. Let's crack on, though, on the doors on the other side. Window, there we go, and a mirror on there. And that should be everything for the bodywork. I did get the other side done. That looks a different sort of grey than everything else. Look at that, how light that is. It looks like a very light matte. This looks like a solid finish, and that looks like a very light matte. Weird how it's totally different colour to the rest of the greys. Did we put our blank license plate on? We did indeed. So let's crack on and get this interior in. I did keep it all as it was, which is the 300C bench and the 300C front seats on there, looking quite nice, along with our beautiful Challenger Hellcat steering wheel, just to finish that little beast off. And there we go. That should there we go. That should be everything. Let's double check. Not the screen I want. 100%, 100%. That is what we like. Let's get this one into the paint shop. Check out some of the factory colours. See what liveries they are and decide. And decide what colour we're going to paint this beautiful concept Charger today. I'm not sure. What do you think? Let's head over. Let's find out. In the paint booth then with this beautiful Dodge Charger concept that's blue and black at the moment, or blue and grey, shall we say, at the moment. This mirror still looks weird as anything, but it is what it is. It is a good looking car. Let's check out some factory paint options. Beautiful pearl red in the starting position. That is a stunning colour. I am not going to lie. This is the colour I've seen it in already on the workshop. That's the base colour it sits in. So we're definitely not going to do that one. Plus the green and the red is a little bit cartoony, if you ask me. Then we got that metallic red. That's also looking quite nice. Deep black pearl. A metallic blue, it's a bit dark. A lovely light pearl blue, that does look quite cool. Metallic silver, pearl white, which is always nice. Metallic-y sort of purpley, bluey silver, blue steel. Blue steel is what we're going to call that one. Then another pearl white, a slightly the same... I don't know. Very similar pearl white anyway. And then this sort of a lighter black or a grey black on there in the metallic finish. They're all pretty cool. Let's have a look and see if we've got any livery options. There is. We have a police car livery, 443 police, even cutting in with that fender flare or vent just there. That's pretty good. America flags on the back, and obviously the police logo on the back as well, and police on the front. So we got that. Then that's it, just that one option. And I'm not building a police car today, so we're not going with that one. So there we go. Police might come if they ever do a police DLC. What do you think? Or should I do a selection of pre-established base police cars and try and do a little competition between them like we did with the taxis? Obviously, it'll probably be modded cars, maybe the odd law one in there as well. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see that. But anyway, let's crack on and pick a custom colour. In fact, that's a good place to start. This is a purple. I've already decided for the bolts that I actually am quite interested for to see on the body. 285, 50, 25. Close. 285. Not so close. 50. Oh, and 25. There we go. Probably not in that finish. No, metallic finish does not suit this deep purple, and obviously you can see the colour we're going for on the mirrors there. So let's get it off of metallic. I've never been a fan of solid. The gloss is all right. It's a bit too much light reflection for a dark colour for me. So let's crack on. What's pearl like? Oh, it's nice. It's still a little bit too reflective, and the mirrors look weird as hell. I can't get over them. I think we should probably go for a matte finish. It is my favourite style of finish. You should all know that by now, and it does do well with this deep purple. Chrome, obviously not. Chameleon, no. Matte chameleon, potentially, but I don't see the point because I don't really see what colour this is transitioning to. I can sort of see a little bit of blue in there, but then it's a purple base anyway, so you're going to see a little bit of blue. So yeah, not the matte chameleon. Yeah, I think we're going to go for a straight up matte finish on that one there. I think that's good. I think it looks pretty cool. Some people don't like matte because you can't see so much definition, but on this build, I do think the matte really shows up the definition of all these ridges and arches, whereas if we go back down to a gloss, it sort of reflects and hides them a little bit, in my opinion. It does sort of show them up as you pan around, but a matte finish for still images is my go-to. I just like a matte finish anyway. I think matte finishes look incredible. Very good looking car. I do like that cutout goes all the way through. That's good to see. But anyway, let's crack on. So we got that. We're doing the bolts, including the rims, in the same colour. And for the minute, I think that's about it. So let's get it painted. On we go. That's the colour and the bolts done. Now, obviously, we are going to use, give me a minute once I can open that door, some beautiful red in this build because we've got this deep red quite a bright red, I suppose, but a bit of a deep red on the carpet and a bright red everywhere else. So we are going to use a bit of red. We've got some chrome on this one as well on the interior, so I think we'll carry on some chrome through the engine bay, plus there's a bit of chrome on the bodywork. Not too much chrome, so I'm not going to overdo it. A little bit of RT badges in some chrome on there as well, but apart from that, there isn't much. We've got fuel fillers on both sides. I'm assuming one of them isn't a fuel filler. No, it looks like fuel fillers on both sides. It's a concept car. Maybe they couldn't decide whether they wanted it on left or right. Maybe it's got dual fuel tanks in real life. Who knows? I mean, somebody does. Someone could Wikipedia this if it's real. But anyway, we'll crack on. So I think purple, a splash of red in there somewhere. I don't know. Probably mostly on some bits for the engine. I'm not really sure yet. Bit of black, some chrome, and obviously a bit of this deep purple we've got going on. That's the plan. I'm not sure what to do with the interior yet. I can't remember if we can do anything with these seats, but we will put them in and find out. In fact, let's put them in now and see what we can do with them. I'll take one front and one bench just so we can have a look and see what options we've got. I'm going to type in, that says sear, not seat, but it still showed me the seat anyway. So if we went, say, for just a bit of this matte purple, how's that going to look? Too much? Purple base, maybe not. Purple seat, but it blocks out the badge. I do quite like the badge. I think that's going to be about it on this one. I'm not sure if we're actually going to do anything. Can I get a piece where it's just this trim that goes a purple? That is a bit of purple trim. It's just not very visible anywhere else. Yeah, so that gives us a little bit of purple trim around here. I think that's going to be about it. Maybe we should go to a red. Now, I have denoted my own red, so let's just go and build that very quickly. Let me look at some notes. I've gone, thank you, I've gone 85 on here for a red, and it's a very deep red, not that deep, and we've gone 80 on there. I'm just going to bump that into 1, just so it looks a bit more official. See, that looks better. You can see the stitching. I can't remember what I was trying to say there. You can see the stitching much more clearly in the red. That is much more clearly. Good England. Let's see if we've got any other... Oh, that one looks a little bit better because it also does the badge red. Obviously, I couldn't see that in the purple because it's so deep. So I think we're going to go for mixed free on the front seats where you got some lovely red trim. And actually, sorry, no, mixed 4 where we've got red trim and the badge a little bit redded out just for... You know, just because we can. So we'll go for that. And let's see. Lovely sound effects there from the Quality of Life. Let's see if we can do a similar... Too far. A similar sort of thing for the bench. Fingers crossed. Hopefully we can. Let's go through and see some options without changing too much. Okay. We can do red seat belts and seatbelt clips to sort of blend it in as best we can. That's going to be our only option. So I think the rear gets red seat belts and the seatbelt clips. The front gets red stitching, although it doesn't even look like there is any stitching, or stitch lines, should I say. There's definitely stitching somewhere, but stitch lines in this seat. So I think we'll go with that. Let's just go pop these back in and take a look from this side so we can gather our thoughts and sort of think what it looks like. Take a step out. I'm just going to take off the mirror by the looks of it. Close the door. That was a terrible idea. Now we can't see anything. Is that too much? I mean, I quite like it, obviously, because you've got the red interior in there. There's quite a lot of it. I think it's not going to be too bad. So that's what we're going to go for the interior, at least for the seats anyway. Take that one out and get that one done. And maybe something on this steering wheel. In fact, I'll do that with you in here as well. Steering wheel. Let's see what options we got with this. We're going to try the purple first and see what options we get. A full purple steering wheel is maybe a little bit too much. The purple top and bottom's not bad. Or the purple meshed sides. Okay, I'm not really a fan of any of them options on their own. I'm going to see what happens if I try and mix the red in. I feel like this is going to be too much or won't actually mix. Although that purple and red is too much. It really is too much. If I could dull that red a little bit, or maybe get it sort of more in line with just them buttons. Oh, I don't know. Let's check out just the red on its own. We'll go with steel black on here for a second to see if that works. Is that even throwing the red in? I mean, that looks pretty smart. Maybe if we go for the purple and steel black. And for some reason, it doesn't want to leave itself on a matte finish. Why don't you want to leave yourself on a matte finish when I do this? That's very weird. So if I go like this and then click it back across to matte and go back in, there we go. I quite like that. I'm going to give that a go. I'm painting it because I don't think it's going to stay matte because it didn't want to stay matte. But let's chuck it back in and see what's happened there. Absolutely nothing. So we're going to... Sometimes that happens. Didn't want to take a seat inside. Sometimes this happens when you change too many settings with Quality of Life. When painting, sometimes it comes out like you haven't painted anything. All you really need to do is go back in, select the colour you were just on, and then reset this to steel black. That's all it needs, and whatever mix option you were on, which was paint, material, and mix. Go again. Fingers crossed. Hopefully that will make it so that has worked. In we go. That's what we like to see. Looking absolutely fantastic. I probably should have done the other seat as well while I was here, shouldn't I? How do I get back to normal? There we go. Yeah, I do quite like that. The little splash of purple on the inside with a lot of red and a few bits of chrome. I'm quite pleased with that. So far, that's what we're going to go for. I'm going to try and do one more thing just so we can check out the colour of the bolts while we're here. In we go and in we go. Paint you down? They're already painted. Bolt you down. And then we're just going to nip into photo mode. Now, because I painted it matte, the bodywork and the engine bay are very similar. So we can use that to not zoom in too far and test these bolts. I think, if I could slow down just a little bit, I think the bolts need to go a little bit lighter. Just a tad bit lighter on there is what I'm going to do. So just to be on the safe side, I'm going to take everything that I've painted separately out, just so it doesn't mess with anything. Out you come, out you come. And I'm just going to, we'll close that. We'll go back in very quickly, and we're just going to adjust the bolt colour ever so slightly. What did I say I wanted it? A bit brighter. I'm going to go quite a bit brighter. We'll go up to, I'm going to go up to 50 and we'll check that one out. But I do want to change this because we definitely don't want that. There we go. On you go, on you go, and on you go. One more time, we'll open up the hood and we'll check it out. If it's still not right, I'll go and fix it separately and we'll carry on with this video. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to go into photo mode. In we go. That's a bit better with the brightness on there. Just enough brightness that you can see it is the same colour purple. And that's how we do it. Normally I do all of that off camera, so it doesn't last quite as long as this has. But I thought I'd give you a little insight today as to some of the painting. I've been doing it a little bit here and there. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope it gives you some tips when painting as well. But anyway, I'm going to crack on now, get the rest of this beautiful car all painted, get it back on the lifter. We can get it back together, and then it's ready to send down the drag strip, hopefully to be the fastest concept car we've ever seen. That's everything painted on our beautiful little Charger concept. Looking fantastic in this purple. I really do like this purple. Has come out really, really nicely. Even with that bright red interior. You already saw what we did with the seats and the steering wheel. Obviously there, steel black and purple on the steering wheel. So let's talk about this engine bay. Let's open it up. We've got a lot of matte black in here, I'm not going to lie. And I'm going to talk about some of the bits that clip, such as that power steering reservoir there. It is what it is. We also have a little bit of the suspension clipping up through the frame. Again, it is what it is. I can understand what's going on. We'll talk more about that side of things when we come to the wheels in a minute. Also, this air intake does clip with the engine, just to let you know that one. But apart from that, this is a stunning mod. There's a few tiny little issues, but I get it. The hard part is getting this model to work in the game. The less focus is on making sure everything is positioned correctly inside the model, because if you have access to this mod, it means you're on Steam, which means you've got the Steam Workshop, the car workshop. What is it even called? The in-game workshop? No, I don't want workshop. I want car editor. That is the terms I'm looking for. Car editor, not workshop. If you can get this car on the workshop, it means you've got access to the car editor, which means you can go and fix all these tiny little indiscrepancies. One that does make me laugh, though, is the steering rack and the inner and outer tie rod. Yeah, just not quite lining up. Now, I don't know about this suspension, but they do normally have one that's very similar with all the arms on the other side, or a front suspension cross member with the steering rack up the front there. Just putting that one out there. But let's talk about the colours we've got in here. Lots of purple, a little bit of natural chrome just on that bit, matte black, and it's all looking pretty good. We even did purple clips on our lovely air filter. Purple fans as well, and then we tried to brighten up the silver, make this radiator as chromy as we could, but it's really hard without losing all the textures, so I just did it as metallic-y as I could, with as much of the coating, I can't remember what it's called, the glossiness basically, all the way up as well, and then the roughness all the way down was the best I could get from that one. It looks pretty good nonetheless. And then on the suspension we've got purple, chrome. I didn't do anything with the bushings today. Can you believe it? That is a complete natural finish. I just left them as they were, and it works quite well with this build. Maybe I would have gone for a bit of a darker black on there rather than a grey if I was to do it again. Brake calipers, we left them as they were as well, with their natural red to go with a few splashes of red that we've got. Down the back, if I can get there, is a very similar chrome arms, apart from this one here in the purple cross member, and lots of bits going on through it. All looks pretty good. Fuel tanks in black, fuel pumps in purple, but I'm quite pleased with how it all came together. But now we need to go and build that Hemi Hellcat engine. So let's get into the next room without running, because I decided not to for that journey. And as you can see, it's pretty much finished on there. We've got a little bit left to go. The block itself is in chrome and purple. If we spin around to the other side, there's the chrome elements, but the block is mostly in a purple. The engine heads are chrome and red, and if we just spin around, you can see that they're different. To get the outside textures to match with Quality of Life mod, keeping these bits in the red on here, as well as putting the chrome on the outside, resulted in this one being chrome and red on the inside, and this one being almost fully red on the inside. So there's slight discrepancies between them, but from the outside, they're almost identical. So I'm happy with that. This one's got an extra bit on here, which is in the red, and this one doesn't have it, just has that red circle piece. So there we go. All the idle rollers are in red as well. We've got chrome on the power steering pump with a bit of purple and that natural red on there as well for a little bit splash of extra red. Our alternator is just in chrome on there. We've got black crankshaft pulley, black water pump, purple timing cover. Let's get on though and start getting some of the rest of this on. If we go to the head covers, I've taken the yellow off of them and done them in a lovely body matched matte purple. I think it looks very good. Pleased with that. But the weird thing I've done on this one is I've done the coilovers. No. The ignition coils, the ignition coils in a red that matches these pulleys here, the rollers, whatever you want to call them, and hopefully the red on the interior as well, but it might look a little bit much. We'll see in a moment. I did ask the guys over on the private Discord if they think the red was too much, and the only response I got was that, nah, it's all right. It works well. What car is that? Not in those exact words. I paraphrased a little bit there, but there we go. Let's get all of these on. In you go. In you go. And then we shall move on to this beautiful big old supercharger. Starts off in black, a dark grey, medium grey we'll call it, and red. But I took the red off and made it black and a purple. As you see, all the bolts have gone purple on there. The rest of these bolts I'm doing up now will go a purple colour inside the car. We'll see how close they are to this purple when we get it dropped in, but we shall find out. Hopefully it'll be pretty good. On we go to our throttle, which is in purple and chrome. Just a little bit of chrome on the inside of it there. Looking nice. Fuel rails, these are in, again, purple and chrome. The little connectors in purple, and the rod itself, or the rail itself, in a chrome on there. We'll get this last idle roller on here, and there is another one to go somewhere around here. I'm not sure. Actually, it might be over here. There it is, down there. In you go there, and then up here is the water pump pulley. On you go, just in a black, and then our other belt on there. And as you can see, I've gone for purple on the belts today. We went for red in the previous video, and we're going for purple today. Belt tensioner is in a purple, but it's not forced, so we can keep this roller just in a little bit of black. Would have been lovely to get it red and purple. That would have been fantastic, but not an option, sadly. On we go. Last idle roller there, in the red as well. And then we've got our little fuel rail covers, and they're just in a steel black and purple, keeping up with that theme, and I think they look pretty good done as they are. Quite pleased with them, looking pretty good. Down we go. The last bit on the engine itself is our obviously exhaust manifolds, and yes, they are in a full chrome along with the rest of the exhaust that will be running throughout the car. Apart from the tips, we'll see them in a moment, but there we go. There's our Hemi Hellcat V8 all finished purple, red, black and chrome. We went for the 4-colour combination on this one, looking pretty smart. I'm still unsold on the red, I'll be honest. The red might be a little bit too much. I do quite like it. It adds a bit of definition, like we really thought about it. And it does also go with that massive vibrant red we've got on that interior. As we open that up, it's so red in there, but it looks cool nonetheless. Wait, are the seatbelts red at the front? Oh no, that's part of the door trim. I thought that was the seatbelts for the front. I don't remember doing that, but anyway, we need to get this engine dropped into the engine bay, so grab the crane and let's get it in and see what the purple bolts look like compared to the rest of the engine. Let's get that crane put away and let's take a look. I'm going to go in photo mode so we get the full feel of everything. In fact, I'm going to zoom out a little bit and we're going to put some torch on and then we're going to zoom back in just so that we can see what's going on. And yes, the purple on these bolts here is the natural purple for the rest of the bolts. And this purple here is the one that we got with the supercharger. So there's a slight discrepancy, but not too much. It's very cool nonetheless. I'm liking it. I think it looks pretty good. Is the red too much? I mean, from here, where we can see a little glance of that red on the interior, I tried to put the torch on it, it didn't work. It looks pretty good, but I don't think it is overpowering in that engine bay. It sort of works quite nicely, but there we go. Let's get it up in the air. We've still got a few things left to go. Gearbox, starter, drive shaft, and all of that exhaust. As we nip around and start with our Hellcat gearbox in purple with a little splash of chrome on there, just for good measure on the underside. Hopefully it will look pretty good once we got all the exhaust and things like that in. Just a blacked out starter for good measure, and then all of our exhaust, as you can imagine, is in a lovely chrome. I do love this crossover middle muffler. It looks absolutely fantastic. And then our rear mufflers, as I said, are in chrome, but we do have blacked out tips. Now this black here is natural, and this black here is adjusted. Normally that comes out a chromey finish like the rest of these, so it's just made a slight bit difference, even though the exhaust finish is way before the end of the car, so you won't be able to see it anyway, so it was almost absolutely pointless. But let's crack on. Drive shaft in you go, using the carbon fibre one, but again, removing all of the carbon fibre and just finishing it in a black and red. That's it for the underside. I do want to take a walk out from under here because you've got that purple cross member in the centre. Wow, struggling so much with the English language. Purple cross member in the centre, looking pretty good, although it's quite dark, so it does sort of blend in with the black, but you've got the other purples and chromes on either side. Then all that chrome running down the middle with a few splashes of red, and then a bit more purple at the back to finish it off with our beautiful red brake calipers. Let's get it back down, because we do have some rims to go in this beautiful concept. I'm going to close the hood, and let's see what wheels we have picked today. It certainly isn't the Rim Modern 02. I've gone for the Rim Classic 03, just because I like to be that little bit different. The rim size on this one, the fronts are totally different to what came on the car, and the backs are a little bit different. In fact, if we can jump out of this menu very quickly and go into here, this is the standard size. The fronts are a 245, 45, 19. The backs are a 240, 40, 20. Now, this number here, the 240, you can't actually buy. Every tyre increment that you can buy in-game is by 10. So it would be 245 or 235. You can't get 240. So that's one of the reasons why that's changed. And the other reason is these front tyres in the natural, they stuck out. Can I actually get it? Look how far that sticks out on there. That's quite a bit. So we're going to go on and show you what I've actually picked, which again is the Rim Classic 03. It is a 20-inch rim, so 1 inch bigger than the factory, 40 profile, so the profile's around the same, but a 205 width, because these only stick out a tiny little bit in comparison to the natural ones, which come out to like here, which just was way too far. That might have been a bit of an exaggeration, but way too far for the look we're going for on this build today. So I brought them in as much as I could, but as you can see, they still stick out a little bit. And the reason for that is this brake caliper here. My choice was make it wider and slap some ET on it, and then bring it out even further than it already is, or make it as thin as humanly possible without clipping into that brake caliper. And that's the option I went for, as you can see. So yeah, I would have brought the suspension in a bit further, but I get why, because it's already clipping. So we had to push it out as far as we could while still trying to make it look as natural as possible. So I get the challenges with trying to do that. It makes sense as to why that bit is as it is. But let's get on and get the rear wheels on. Again, Rim Classic 03. But this time, we've gone for a 20-inch rim, 40 profile, and a 245 width on the tyre, this bit here, making these rear tyres just a little bit fatter than factory and a little bit fatter than the front, or a lot fatter than the front. Let's get these on. They are in a beautiful white and purple, which looks fantastic. In the paint booth, these bolts were white, but because I overrid that with the Quality of Life mod, making all my bolts purple, it has overrid this. Maybe I would have preferred it. Doing it again, I'd change it and paint everything but the rims, but we're way too far gone for that now. So let's crack on and get all of these rims all finished off. This one here for the back, and then the front rim. If we go onto it, it should show the standard one, and you can see just how much that sticks out from the fender. If I can get a mouse on the fender, there's the edge. There's the flat edge of the fender there in the tyre. If we spin around to this side and we go back, there's the flat edge of the fender. As you see, it still sticks out, but not as much as the other side. And bear in mind, we're using slick tyres, and that had race tyres on it before, and the slick tyres stick out at the top end of the lip a lot further than the race tyres do. Bear that in mind when adjusting your wheel sizes to fit your vehicle perfectly. I use slicks a lot because we mostly drag race, and obviously slicks are the best for the drag race and on the track as well, to be honest. So I always tend to use the slicks, hence why I know the race tyres sort of tend to curve a bit more at the top. These are almost straight up, as it were. But there we go. That's this beautiful Dodge Charger concept all finished off. I'm going to top up all the liquids to get this thing ready to go. We'll get it outside in the sun, get some special private plates for this one, and then it's on to the dyno before a run down the drag strip. Just one last piece to go on our Dodge Charger concept. I love this. I think it looks fantastic. The purple and white on the exterior looks great. And then if we jump up and open the engine bay, we've got black, a little bit of purple that's almost invisible in this light. Put the torch on it. There we go. And a splash of red and chrome just to balance it all together. I think it's looking fantastic. What do you think? Do let me know in the comments below. But let's get our private plate on. Off with that blank holder and on with the plate that says Concept 1 because it's a concept. Simple as that, really. Anyway, let's crack on. Cool cutout at the back. Absolutely love that. But obviously our exhausts are just down there. You can just about see them, I think. That's them. Should we go into photo mode and get a little closer? There they are, yeah. Just about there. Stick it up through with the little black tips on them. But let's jump inside. Let's look at our rear bench. So much red in that interior. I love it. I think it looks fantastic, especially with the contrast and the black. And then the little bit of red on the seats, bringing it all together. And then a bit of our purple on the steering wheel just to match in to that bodywork. Looking very good. Very bright in here with all the red and this plastic chrome trim, I'm going to call it, because I don't know what else to call it. It looks tacky and horrible. I'm not going to lie. It looks awful, but I do believe it wasn't the intention to look tacky and horrible. It was meant to look modern and chromy, but it just looks plasticky. But anyway, let's get it started and hear this Hellcat purr. Nice little grumble there. Give it some gas. Oh, the supercharger whine at the top end always sounds fantastic. Not quite as good as our turbo whistle, but there we go. Let's get this beast onto the dyno, see what its horsepower is and what its drag rating is going to be. On the dyno then with the Dodge Charger concept and its V8 Hemi Hellcat motor pumping out 606 factory horsepower. How much have we managed to gain on this one today with all our tuning? A gain of 623 horsepower, 103%. I always love it when it's more than a whole new engine. Bringing us up to 1,229 horsepower from this concept Dodge Charger, which is absolutely fantastic. Although that drag rating seems a little bit low, only at a 443. I did think that was going to be considerably higher. I mean, almost 1,300 horsepower. And a drag rating of, I mean, it's still in the A-class. I guess it is still the top category, just nowhere near the top end of the top category. But before we get onto the drag strip with this beautiful little Dodge Charger, let's have a look at the gearbox tune I've gone for today. And there she is, a 2.5 ratio, 75k in the first gear. Now, this is the best I could get it off the line, but not the best time I could get entirely. I did get one time slightly better in all my practices with a little bit of a different setup like this, but this is the only one that gives a relatively decent off the line into second, into third, rather than spin, 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 second, third, which is what it was doing before. So yeah, definitely not the actual overall quickest. I could get slightly faster, but not by much. But that's the gearbox tune we're going for today. This is our fully tuned ECU, giving us 60% additional power. Absolutely fantastic. And if you want to learn how to easily do that every time, there is a link in the top right hand corner up here. It's also linked in the description below, and in the description is a link to do the carburetors as well. If you haven't seen either of them, they are worth checking out. If you struggle in any way, shape or form, even just a little bit with getting these perfect every time, they are very, very simple. There is a little bit of a code to it almost. So check them out if you haven't already. Both shorts, less than 60 seconds long, and will help you if you are struggling at all with the ECU and carburetor tuning. But enough about that. Let's get this beautiful Dodge Charger concept onto the drag strip, see if we can win a drag tournament, and then see if this thing is worth a little bit of money. We finally made it to the drag strip with our 1999 Dodge Charger concept. Let's get straight into it. King of the Sands, quarter mile, make sure we get that right. And we are in A-class, even if it is only just, this goes up to 999, so it is low end of A-class. But let's pay our 1,000 entry fee and see who we've got today. Starting from the top, Aston Martin Vantage 777 versus the Mustang 777. Quite an interesting race up there. Queen of Mercies with us. Who else have we got? Killer 999. Nice to see you, Pi, in the Nissan GTR 2024 edition. And Skin Gravel down there in the Nissan GTR Pandim as well. But our first race is against one of my own builds, the Ribsan Starline VM edition. I can't remember if that was particularly good or if that was just one we did fully show car or wherever it was racetrack worthy. But Let's get on, though, and see what we could do in that first race. Can we beat the Ribsen Starline VM Edition and make it through to the next round and potentially race off against Skin Gravel? Oh, yeah. I remember now. It was a whopping great monster truck. The Ribsen Starline VM Edition is a whopping great monster truck. I kind of forgot about that. I don't know how this is going to go. I remember putting a beefy engine in that thing, but with the off-road tyres, it's probably not going to be able to stick to the ground as much. So this should theoretically be a win for the Dodge Charger concept, but there is only one way to find out. Let's go. Come on, you beautiful little Charger. Off the line, into second. Into third. I forgot the button. Yeah, that monster truck is gone. Way off in the distance. So let's crack on and get this across the line and see what we've got for our first run. A 11.596. Now, I will say, oh my God, the Starline didn't even finish. Made it through the first checkpoint, but didn't actually finish. Sorry, the first and second checkpoint, should I say, but didn't actually finish. So there we go. We have beaten the Ribsen Starline monster truck built by myself in the first round. I mean, I kind of did expect it, let's be honest. I saw it was a monster truck. As soon as I saw that, I thought it should be an easy win. But there we go, 11.596 seconds at 209 kilometers an hour. I can tell you, it is definitely not in the top 10 speederboard. I was expecting a little bit more, and the fastest time I did get was like an 11.3 or something like that. So you can see there is a little bit of discrepancy there. I have been getting slightly faster than that with all my other trial runs, but never mind. Let's crack on. We've made it into round 2. Let's see who we're up against and if we can make it to the semi-finals, quarterfinals. Semi-finals is the next one after this one. I am confused. I don't know where I am. We're on round 2. So it goes first round in the drag strip, then quarterfinal, then semi-final, then final. So we're in the quarterfinal. We need to see if we can win that, make it to the semi-final, and then on to the final. Once I finally figured out what order all the races go in. We have lost Queen of Mercy and Killer by Newton. That is a bit of a shame, but Skin Gravel did make it through, so that is our next race against the Nissan GTR Pandem Edition, which is going to be wide body and should be theoretically pretty good, but there is only one way to find out. Let's crack on with this quarterfinal and see if we can make it into the semis. Well, she's a wide boy. We do love a wide-bodied Nissan, especially one of them GTRs. They are fantastic vehicles, which does set us at a bit of a disadvantage because, well, I don't really know anything about this, so I don't know. Let's jump in and find out if the Dodge Charger concept can beat the wide-body Nissan GTR. Let's go. Come on, you little beast. If we can win this and make it into the next round, I'll be very, very happy. Second, third, where is the Nissan? We are pulling away. We are doing well. This Charger is better than I thought it was. Let's get across the line and see if we beat that 11.596, 11.451. That is better. That is a little bit more like it. Quite happy with that one. Still 209 kilometers an hour. Same top speed. Just a slightly better run down the drag strip, beating out the Nissan GTR by just about half a second. So that's pretty good on there, in all honesty. But we did make it through to the semi-finals. Who were we up against? And can we get into the finals with this beautiful Dodge Charger concept? Sorry, Skin Gravel, but you were in my way on my journey to greatness with this Dodge Charger concept. Anyway, it's the Infiniti G35 Top Secret, which I believe is quite similar. But anyway, we've still got the Ford Mustang 777 from way up here, making it all the way through. And the Toyota Supra? Yeah, the bath wash stuff. Toyota Supra GR HKS kit is also up there as well. So we've got some custom tuned versus some American muscle / a pony car up there in the semi-finals. Who's going to make it into the final? Will it be a import tuner or will it be American muscle? Let's find out. Let's go. It's the purple powerhouses. Look at that. Absolutely fantastic. Now, a lot of people give this Infiniti a lot of stick because it's a Skyline that's not a Skyline, sort of. Regardless, it's a good-looking car, especially in this body kit, and no big massive spoiler. I mean, I am a fan of a big massive spoiler, but sometimes builds can look pretty smart with a fantastic body kit and just a little lip spoiler that you can just see on the back there up against that concrete wall. It isn't looking fantastic. Both cars in this sort of purple, one in a gloss shiny, one in a matte. Can we beat the Infiniti with our Charger concept? Let's find out. Let's go. Can we make it to the final? Off the line, into second. Oh, that didn't feel like my best gear change ever. Yeah, sorry about that, everybody. The Infiniti is pulling away. I did kind of expect this to lose at some point, though. Was it a loss? It was a loss. Only just, I mean, just about a second in it. In fact, as close to a second as you can possibly get. Sorry, 100th of a second. 11.484 for us. Sadly, not quite beating out our last run, but we would have lost with our last run anyway, losing out to the Infinity with an 11.383. We got to 209 kilometers an hour again, and that Infinity got to 213. So definitely faster than us, and I would say much better acceleration. Even though we had the better reaction time off the line as well, we definitely took the lead early on, and then we lost it. Where did we lose it? We're still ahead here. It was literally that final straight. We're still ahead at the 1,000 meters, but just to the quarter of a mile. No, sorry, they were ahead at the 1,000. We were ahead at the 1/8 of a mile. They just managed to pull in front of the 1,000 meters and then take the victory for the quarter of a mile. So there we go. The Infinities beat us. Did the other tuner, did the Supra make it into the final, or was it that beautiful Ford Mustang? Let's go find out and see who's going to take this tournament, as well as collecting our prize money for finishing in, I guess, fourth, third, fourth, maybe? I don't know. Let's get back and find out. Well, it was the Mustang that made it into the final. Now we've got an American muscle or a pony car versus an import tuner. It'd be nice to see what sort of time these cars got next to their little trophies. I know it's all theoretical and number generated and stuff like that. Most of these aren't actually racing. Their times are just numbers on a bit of paper, effectively. A digital bit of paper, but whatever. But it'd be interesting to see whether I finished fourth or third in this drag tournament. But let's see who's going to take the win. Mustang or Infinity? It is the Infinity. That Infinity G35 absolutely owning the drag strip today all the way to the end. A nice little top secret tuner taking all of the prize money. We finished third or fourth with a payout of 2,250, which does mitigate our entrance fee of 1,000 and gives us 1,250 profit margin to work with at the very beginning. Anyway, let's get this beautiful Dodge Charger concept back to the garage, see where it finishes on our speederboard, definitely not in the top 10, and then see if we can sell this beautiful car on for a tasty bit of profit. The Dodge Charger concept managing the drag strip in 11.451 seconds at its fastest run with a top speed of 209 kilometers an hour. Pitting this one 24th out of 35 on the speederboard. Not too shabby, but definitely not the best we've ever had, if we're being truly honest. It was a lot of fun, though. I did enjoy this build. The purple and white on the exterior with the red and chrome accents on the engine and the suspension really make this one pop, in my opinion. But let's talk some facts and figures about this one. We bought the car for $28,748 and could have sold it and lost out on $6,525. That's quite a loss at the very beginning, but we didn't do that. We spent $24,414 sorting out the suspension, getting the engine bay all ready, including the exhaust and things like that. For the tuned engine plus the liquids topped up, obviously we repaired everything we could on that engine, bought some performance parts to go with it. It was $20,930, including the liquids, gearbox and starter. Bodywork, interior and frame, that was relatively decent, only $3,880. Those beautiful 5-spoke two-tone wheels and tyres were $6,392. And our private plate at the back there was $850. For our paint and finish, it was $18,129. And we also paid $1,000 to enter the drag tournament. But we did win 2,250, so that brings us back up a little bit, putting our total spend for this beautiful Dodge Charger concept at 102,093, which is, you know, a little over 100,000, but theoretically we should be able to make some money. Obviously we lost 6,525 from the beginning, but we did gain 2,250 from our drag winnings, which it would have been a little bit more, but it is what it is. So let's get back in off the B-roll and let's see what this Dodge Charger concept is worth. Looking fantastic. I do love that engine in there. So it's a little bit better with a little bit of torch on it, so you can just see the purple accents a little bit more, but I did pick a dark purple, so that is definitely on me. But it looks fantastic and cost us just over 100,000 to get here. So let's have a look. There she is, all 100% completed, and that engine ramped up to 1,229 horsepower. Can we make some profit? 102,093 is our spend, and a sale of 190,027 leaves us 87,934 profit from this beautiful beautiful Dodge Charger concept. It is absolutely fantastic. I'm not a fan of the Dodge Charger with the pointy nose. I wish this would just sort of come out and stay flat, but I do like the rest of the style on this. I do think it looks pretty cool. I do like the rear end. It is very similar to sort of like the modern Charger rear ends at the back there. The front's just way, way off. They obviously decided the fans didn't like it enough with a pointy end, and it needed to keep its flat face like it did in the original. But there we go. Tim C2K, absolutely fantastic. If you want access to this one, it's on the Steam Workshop. It's also linked in the description below. Let's crack on though, get this car sold off you go. We will take our 87,000 profit and be very grateful for it. Thank you very much. But let's see what we've got coming up next. It's on the trailer. It's been there pretty much all day. This is the beautiful Audi RS4 Avant D5 edition. There is only the one config. It's a relatively new mod on the workshop. I'm still catching up. Bear with me. Available from the auction, junkyard, or barn. I can't remember if I added anything to this one or not. It has been in my game for a little while, so I might have changed something. But we got it from the auction house anyway. It does have a decent engine in there. It has a V6 double overhead cam NSN engine, pumping out 382 factory horsepower. Where do you want to see this one? I mean, technically it's four-wheel drive. It could go around the gravel track, but I'm not going to force it. So it could go on the gravel track, could go on the racetrack, or it could go down the drag strip. You decide. Let me know in the comments below. And then make sure to join us back here on Monday for this beautiful Audi. It's going to be good fun. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys are too. I've not seen it yet, so I don't know if there's any liveries or anything like that to go with it. So we'll find all of that out in the next episode. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy today's video. Do leave a cheeky little like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to see more, and share this video if you think someone you know may very well enjoy it, or if you just want to be annoying and share loads of videos with them, because it works for me either way. But if you do want access to custom configs and liveries, today wasn't one of them, but all the 5 cars you can see along the front, plus that taxi in front of the shop there, are all my custom configs and liveries that are available to all my channel members of the VM Garage Club, where you get access to my custom configs and liveries, obviously, a Discord where we can all chat, have a laugh, share some builds, share some other games if you really want to, or even give me suggestions. I'm always happy to hear them. Plus, you get 1 day early access to all of my videos, which is just, if you enjoy that, you enjoy that. It does make it a little bit harder for me, but it's good fun nonetheless. And it is £2.99 a month, less than a cup of coffee. So if you can do that, I would very much appreciate it, but I'm not forcing you. The best way to support the channel is genuinely by watching the content, liking and commenting, and making sure that you are subscribed. But if you want to help me that little bit further, like these guys on here, my channel members, become a channel member. They are fantastic. I love you guys. Chatting with you in the Discord is fun. When some of you respond, not all of you respond, and I totally get that. Some of you don't want to do that. You just want to come in and grab the configs and go. And if you want to do that, that's absolutely fine. I have no problem at all. So thank you all so much. Hope you enjoyed today's video. I've already said that once, but never mind. And have a beautiful day, whatever it is you're getting up to. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Like and subscribe for Virtual Mechanic.